Welcome back to YouTube. It is a really exciting day for us today. We are here at one of the world's largest bicycle retailers to help you guys pick out one of the best entry-level bikes possible. Come on in, let's see what we can find. This isn't really what I expected from a bike store. Finally. This is definitely not what I was expecting. Okay, this one at least has pegs. Let's check this one out. I mean, it's got kickstand and pegs. It's got front pegs only. Put these back where they're supposed to go. You know what? I think I got something better at home. I got something better. Come with me. Okay, now this. This is more like it. This is the Verde Cadet and represents what a good sub $400 bike should be. If you're shopping for your first BMX bike, or maybe you're just getting back into the sport, the Cadet has many of the features you want to look for in any sub $400 complete, and it's a very common price point, very competitive. You might also be surprised what a bike like this can actually handle, but first let's get to the specs. As mentioned, the Cadet represents a great value in freestyle complete bikes. The frame, fork, and handlebars are all made from high tensile steel, which is common in this price point and generally strong enough for most entry-level riders. Of course, chromoly is king and much stronger, but you'll be paying more for it. And I feel many people underestimate the strength of high tensile steel in general use cases. The cranks, however, are full chromoly 3-piece with a mid-bottom bracket, a much stronger and lighter design than your basic one-piece crank with an American bottom bracket. The Cadet also uses a modern 25-tooth sprocket and more reliable cassette hub. One of the best features this bike has are sealed bearings in the hubs and in the bottom bracket. This may not seem like a huge deal for some, but trust me in saying, sealed bearings will last you much longer, they run smoother, require less maintenance, and if they do go bad, they're much easier to replace. From there we have some Verde branded parts like the tree grips, which I found to be really quite comfortable, some Verde single wall rims, a one-piece seat post combo, nylon pedals, and Duo Stun 1 tires. The entire bike comes in at a reasonable 24.5 pounds. Now all of this comes right out of the box with the Cadet, minus the pegs which I just had lying around and why they're mismatched. But you'll find that some companies may add a chromoly down tube on the frame, or maybe the fork is partially chromoly, for example. But to keep under that $400 price point, they may then use unsealed hubs or maybe some generic tires. I don't know, every company is a little different on where their money goes, so it's up to you to determine what is best for you. Hey everyone, before we get further into this video, I just want to add a little asterisk to it here, because throughout it I mentioned sub $400 completes. Well, the time in this video, the actual retail price on the Cadet is $379.99. So if you're watching this video, years later, prices can change, but the facts remain the same. If you're looking for a great entry-level complete, the specs of the Cadet or something similar to it is exactly what you want to look for. So that footnote out of the way, let's get back to the video. One thing is for certain though, complete bikes made by actual BMX companies, that is where it's at. Even a budget-minded bike like the Cadet, or any bike in this price range for that matter, is designed for actual BMX use, and many will handle your basic trick list just fine. Tricks like 180s, 360s, grinds, tabletops, or what have you are all handled just fine by the Cadet as long as you do your part. Now don't go jumping this bike off a roof or down a massive stair set, it's not designed for that level of riding. But many people underestimate what an entry to mid-level complete bike can really handle. Over the last several weeks, I've taken the Cadet with me to our local park and several street spots in the area to really get a feel for what a bike like this can do. And honestly, I was super impressed on how well it rode. Now, don't get me wrong here. I did not expect a bike in this price range to feel like crap by any means. But when all you're used to riding is custom bikes and you're kind of spoiled by custom bikes, you kind of forget how far the complete bike market has actually progressed over the years. Really, the only issues I had were the bars slipped on me the first couple days, and that's pretty common, especially on a painted cast aluminum stem like this. It's so common, in fact, that we actually have an older video that covers this exact scenario. Sand away some of that paint on the clamping surface, make sure you grease the bolts real good. It should be good to go. After I did that, had no issues with it, bars held just fine, but that's a good video to reference if you have trouble with really any stem.
It's an older Kotze, but it checks out.
I was surprised how well these brakes worked, if you do decide to keep them on. They're not stop on a dime accurate, but they were pretty sufficient in most cases, and I was able to do some brake tricks with them. Complete bikes, as you can probably imagine, just get higher in quality as you go up in price. You get stronger materials, more features, to the point where a top-of-the-line complete is essentially, well, for many companies, it is a true pro quality bike. But of course, not everyone can afford that. And this is where bikes like the Cadet fit in. You get a solid, well put together bike for not a whole lot of money in the grand scheme of things, compared to a department store bike, which in all essence, those bikes are designed to be disposable. Sorry, but it's true. When you buy a complete from a reputable BMX shop, whether it be from Dan's Comp or anywhere else, but seriously buy from Dan's Comp, you're getting a bike that's backed by an actual BMX brand, whether it be from Verde or any other major BMX company out there. And these bikes not only look and function the part, they're designed to be upgradable as you progress. And that alone, in my opinion, is well worth the extra cost up front if you can swing it. Now, if all you can afford is that department store bike, I get it, and that's completely fine, because as long as you're on a bike, that's really all that matters. Just be aware that you could be spending more money in the long run by going that direction. So in that case, maybe I'd look for the secondhand bike, maybe on Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace. Just make sure the bike is in good shape. Buying a complete bike from a big box store is kind of like buying sushi from a gas station. Sure, you can do it, but let's be honest. Do you really want to risk it?
You know what? That's a good point.
So if you're looking for a new complete in that sub $400 range, give the Cadet a good hard look. And even if this bike maybe just isn't for you, the specs on this bike are still a great representation of what you should be looking for. Now, we are not done with the Cadet just yet. In fact, we'll be giving away this exact bike in an upcoming video, plus a few extras, so be on the lookout for that. In the meantime, if you have any questions, don't forget to comment down below. As always, please don't forget to like, subscribe, share. It really does help out the channel. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see everybody in the next video.